years later, as I go through this journey, and people have come up to me, and they've told me how g.l.o.w changed their lives, it was because, for the same reason that I entered g.l.o.w, we have been able to breathe that same type of belief into our viewers. When people were watching g.l.o.w, okay, they were seeing a plethora of different characters. They were seeing young girls like me, 5'2", 102 pounds. They were seeing giants like Mount Fiji and Matilda the Hun. They were seeing athletic women like Tina Ferrari. And they were seeing just like crazy characters like Chainsaw and Spike. And people were able to, for the first time in female wrestling, believed that they could step into the squared circle. I'm going to tell you something. Big Bad Mama, do you guys remember who she was? She passed away. God bless her soul. She watched g.l.o.w for the first 2 seasons. And when g.l.o.w separated, we had a break in the cast, and we had to recast in the episode, we had to recast for the entire season. She drove from California to Las Vegas with her kids in the car. She had to leave them in the car when she went to audition, and she did that because she believed she could be a wrestler. She ended up being one of the best wrestlers in our show, don't you think? Isn't she amazing? Was she a typical cookie cutter version of what you would think a wrestler would be? But she was so entertaining. I mean, that is like what I am so passionate about in wrestling. When they say that, I do advocacy work, I'm so proud of that. Because if what I do helps people believe that they can go further in their career, I am just so happy and blessed. I feel like I have gone from my goal line success in real estate, very successful, to a soul line success where I feel like I'm living out like a passion to actually be able to give back. And I swear to you that I did not think that was possible. And I did not think that was possible because when g.l.o.w ended in 1989, that was the end of g.l.o.w. We were a show. And imagine like working with someone at that level for that long, and then one day never getting called back. You didn't have a phone number. We couldn't text anyone. There was no email addresses. We never got addresses because we thought we'd see them, just a few weeks later. If you look at like what you could possibly be going through at that point when you realize you've just lost your friends, you have to bury, right? You have to bury those feelings. For over 20 years, we buried those feelings. And that was part of the sadness of our story. And that was also part of the greatness of the documentary, because we were able to find each other again. And it's my pleasure as a former g.l.o.w girl to introduce to you another former g.l.o.w girl. I know her as Tina Ferrari, who was one of the best wrestlers we ever had at g.l.o.w. If you saw her in the ring, this lady came into the ring. She was cast from LA. She was a cheerleader. She was a great dancer. She was so charismatic. And she was put with a tag team, her and her very good friend, Nadine, who worked as Ashley Cartier. And they did great. But there was like something in Tina that she wanted to go a little further. And it had to have been very, very difficult for her, to leave a friend in order to pursue a championship match. But she did. So proud of her for that. Somewhere around like 2000, I was, at this point, I had a son. He was probably like in 1st or 2nd grade. My husband and I, been together for over 30 years. I have a great marriage, great relationship with him. And I was living like what I thought was like perfect life in Las Vegas. And one day, my husband was watching TV and he's flipping through the channels. And I hear him yell for me, and he's like, "Honey, get in here, hurry, you're gonna miss it. And I'm like, what is he talking about? He never asked me to watch, I don't even watch TV. And I come running in because I think something bad's happening. And he's like, "Is that your friend Tina?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" "On TV right now in the championship match on WWF, is that your friend Tina?" And I'm like, "I don't know," because like in the screen, everything's so tiny, and I'm getting really close to the television set. and hair's flying, and I don't really see who she is, right? Until she flips her hair back, and I could see it was Tina after 9 years of not knowing what happened to her. And I look at her, and I was looking at her, and my husband was standing behind me. Excuse me. My husband was standing behind me, and I remember looking at the TV, and I said to myself, she made it. She made it. I was so proud of her. Another 11 years went by before I could tell her that in person. That's the story of g.l.o.w. That's our story. We're a cast of female women who ended up wrestling, and if we weren't good at it, we wouldn't have stayed on as long as we did. And we care about this business, and we are so honored to be remembered at a time where sometimes we get overlooked in shadows. So if you haven't seen g.l.o.w, the story of the gorgeous ladies of wrestling, it's airing on Netflix. Please see it. It's a great story. San Diego Comic-Con, Best Documentary 2012. Considered one of the best wrestling documentaries ever aired. And I am so honored and blessed to be a part of that and a part of wrestling history. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you my friend who I know is Tina Ferrari, but your friend that you know is the 3-time WWF champion, Ivory. Let's give her a big hand. Thank you.